All right, man. Here we go. It's the finale of Peacemaker. I know people have been asking about it, and we're excited to talk about it. By the way, show a little class. Will you subscribe? Notification, all that. You're brand new to the channel. You're searching for a Peacemaker finale. You're like, who the hell's this idiot? Well, all I can tell you is that I had the vigilante himself, Freddie Stroma, on last episode. If you missed it, well, that's on you. You can go back and watch it, though. It's in the playlist. So it's Cow or Never. Oh, shit. It's Cow or Never is the name of the episode, the season finale. They kept this one quiet, and rightfully so. This is spoilers, obviously, if you didn't know that already. It all comes to a head, and it was a fantastic finale. We'll jump right into the massive spoiler at the very end of it. Okay, you've been warned. Otherwise, why'd you click on this thing if you didn't see it? Love the idea. They had to do some kind of cameo with one of the heroes from DC, right? And they wound up putting the Justice League in there, even though it wasn't obviously Henry Cavill. But they did get Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa to come back, and I loved seeing the R-rated versions of these characters and the way that they're kind of messing with each other, and they fit into this world fairly well. And I love it. Your late dickheads or whatever he says to him, and it just fits in so great. And even so, why don't we get the Justice League in on this? And then they wind up showing up at the very end. I thought that was hilarious. I thought it worked really well. But it also showed that you didn't really need them in it. Because it reminds me back like when the Marvel movies were first starting to come out, and people were like, well, where are the Avengers? How come the Avengers aren't helping out? They're around, and there were try to be ways of why they weren't helping. And I thought this was a clever way to do it. It was a fun way to do it. And it comes to a head. They get there, and the use of the helmets and what they had to do, and yeah, it's just there was so much to it. I hate that stupid thing. I'm sorry. People go, why didn't you turn your Outlook off? Because I forgot. That's the answer to your question. Why didn't I turn it off? I forgot. It's not something I'm proud of, but nonetheless, I did it. I turned it off. So we're not going to hear any more of those notifications from that anyway. Will more notifications come up from something else? It's possible, but not anymore. Anyway. So I thought everybody really had something to do throughout this entire series, and especially the culmination to the end of it. And we didn't really lose anybody in this one that I got scared that we were going to. I was afraid that we were going to lose the vigilante. We didn't. He got shot, and he seems to always get hurt, and then he's just kind of, shrugs it off. And they tell him at the end, like, "Dude, you're shot. You got to go to the hospital." He's like, "I'm all right," and he falls over, which is hilarious. Like Steve Agee, who is Diebeard, I think had the best. Economos had the best arc because you really feel for him, and he's really likable, and he tries so hard. He's always getting. He's like, "Don't leave." He tells Leota, "Don't leave. Don't leave. You're gonna get hurt." And then he gets hurt. He breaks his leg. But Leota, Danielle Brooks, who I liked from Orange Is the New Black, she really shined in this show from episode 1 until now, playing Waller's daughter and everything that she does, and the human torpedo, and she lands into the wall. And I liked that because she's kicking ass. When she's running through and she's kicking ass, she's shooting all the butterflies down, and then she just can't control the helmet. And I like that aspect. I like the fact that she doesn't know how to control it yet. She hasn't had any experience with it. And he told her, he said, be careful with that one. Don't use that one. And it was a great bit. She showed she was tough as shit. She's running through, but she couldn't control that helmet. But she was having a blast with the other ones, blowing things up left and right. Again, Annie Chang is... Detective Song, but she was the head butterfly, and I thought that angle played out really well. And I also thought that it was an interesting thing at the very end when they were explaining like why they were there and what they were going to do and how they were going to do it, and the reason why Judo Master joined them is the same reason Peacemaker would. But it shows the arc and the change and what Peacemaker has been going through this entire season. It's a very well written show. Very well written show as far as character arcs and still keeping it funny and fresh and the dynamic between Peacemaker and Vigilante is just off the charts. Like the stuff that they do and the fart noises in the beginning, which was like two immature imbeciles. Here's Leota trying to apologize, and they're just they just can't handle it. And well, Peacemaker can't handle it. And then obviously Vigilante just jumps on it. So that dynamic was there. And then ultimately, and what I mean by how smart the show is, and it makes you care because he's all pissed off about the fact that she turned on him, framed him. And then it's ultimately her who comes to help him at the very end. And I also like that reveal where it wasn't her that pulled him out of the wall. And I thought that played very well. And there was a bigger plan for him from the butterflies. But another Harcourt also shined. Jennifer Holland, who was fantastic in the episode. And I did think maybe we were going to lose her because she got it pretty brutal, right? And then speaking of what happened, this is what I loved about this episode is it did feel like an 8-hour movie. Because if you look at the structure of it, and when you watch this scene, this seems like if somebody who's watching this, like just doing a binge, would probably feel like it's a 8-hour film from the start to the finish, and like because the ending of this certainly felt like the big conclusion to a big movie that we've been watching. It's the final battle scene. We've got all the relationships. We got everything that we needed to get. And from the beginning with Harcourt and her kind of disdain for Peacemaker, and then ultimately he's the one who's waiting in the hospital room. And John Cena, again, has to be commended for how great he was in this show. I was not a massive John Cena acting fan before this show. That has dramatically changed. I think that James Gunn has done something tremendous, and they work together really, really well. And I think that Cena knows this character very well. And when talking to Freddie Stroma last week, you can see how intelligent and how funny John Cena is because he brings this stuff out of this character. And I think that James Gunn, from the way he wrote this, you can tell how much love and passion James Gunn has for this. And I'm so excited for a season 2. And it's coming. They announced it already. So loved it. I thought it was a great finale. Loved this entire season. This is great. This was great television. It was unexpected. It's funny how much I wound up anticipating it because I had heard great things about the Suicide Squad, and it took me forever to watch it. I think I watched it on the day or the day before it was off HBO Max, and heard great things about it and wanted to see it, but then loved it. It was my favorite comic book movie of the year last year. It was in my top 10 of the movies of last year. So I was then excited because I thought John Cena was great in that too. And I was like, oh, well, let's see I didn't know how I was going to feel about a full show with him. I'm like, why am I going to care about this guy? He just did something really awful. And they explained all of it. They did a great thing where they made you actually care for him and you understand. And it plagues him what he did to Rick Flag. It plagues him. So, and the stuff with him and Robert Patrick and seeing that and the way it led to him to the Eagly stuff when Eagly's flying around with the helmet, he's like, you can't trust Eagly or not. That thing doesn't know what you're saying, and it drops it in the middle of the woods, which leads to the idea of the ghost of his father. Fantastic. It is a fantastic episode, fantastic finale, fantastic series. So I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Thought it was great. How did you guys feel about it? Did you like the finale? What did you think of the overall series? Do you think it should have been a one series, or because it surprised you so much, you're excited for season 2? Want to hear your thoughts, so make sure you let me know there in the comments. I'll respond to them. I'm aware that I'm very backed up in comments right now. We're starting season 9 of the Movie Trivia SCHMOEDOWN. Brand new stuff coming for even people who never seen it before and want to check it out. It's going to be February 26th for our first pay-per-view, and then March 4th is our first show, which we'll be doing on Friday, March 4th. So we're excited for you guys to see that. And for people who had watched it in the past, but digital maybe wasn't the thing, or maybe you didn't think it was as fun as it used to be, give this season a shot. I'm going to be talking about it a lot, so I want you guys to check it out, and I want to get your feedback on it. So either way, this is Peacemaker. This is the season finale. I look forward to reviewing more of these once we get season 2. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Late. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Do that, too. Show a little, will you?